Okay, so today video on the calculator is about doing a regression on the calculator. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you is this. If you're using an 84 or if you have an app called Calculate 84 or even an 83, the steps are very, very similar to what I'm about to do. But I'm going to kind of just work through it. So the first thing I'm going to tell you always to do is this. If you do a second plus 712 to reset the calculator, it's going to kind of make sure everything is clear, because sometimes you accidentally delete listings and things like that in the calculator, which kind of messes it up. But here's basically what we're going to do. We're going to start with a stat button. The stat button is the place where you want to put your information at. So there's two parts to this you want to know. One, the edit button, and then the calculate button, which I'll get to here in a second. There's a glare on my calculator right now. It's all right. But in the edit button, if you hit edit, you're going to see, you should see L1, L2, L3 on the calculator. Okay. So on this, here's what I want you to know. L1 and L2 is kind of like your X and Y. Okay. So to input values, you can put, numbers. If you had a set of data, you put, I'm just going to kind of just pick some numbers here to show you. 6, and this is not anything that I'm doing. I'm just picking numbers right now to kind of show you how this works. Let's go one more point. Let's go 10. Make it easy. Make it kind of interesting. Then on my Y value, I'm going to pick. Let's make it even more interesting. Let's go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay. So once you have your information into the calculator like this, what you're going to do is you're going to do the stat button again, but this time you're going to do a calculate. And to calculate, you have some options here. You have a linear regression, a quadratic regression, a cubic regression, a quartic, so on and so forth. Okay. So I'm going to show you just linear regression first. Okay. Now, what this does is going to give me the equation for the set of information I have on there. Okay. And if I hit enter, you're going to see L1, L2. That should be correct. There's another option for a store, which I'm not going to do right now, but you just hit calculate. It'll give you an equation, like this, where 0.05 is A, 0.6 is B, and that's kind of how you create your equation. If I wanted to do something else, like a quadratic regression, then I would choose a quadratic regression, kind of like this. Do the same thing. Go down to where it says calculate. And again, it gives me a quadratic regression. Again, it gives you the A value, the B value, and the C value for the actual equation. And so that's what it is. Now, there's another nice feature about this. It's called a scatter plot. And what you do is, if I go to second stat plot, you see where it says off? And if I hit enter, I make sure and I turn that on. Okay. And then you should still see L1, L2 right here. And you can change your markings however you want to change them. I'm going to leave them as squares for right now. And I kind of expected that was going to happen. That's okay. I'm almost done here anyway. So then when you turn that on, if I go back to my graph, what you actually see now are the points actually showing up here. I'm going to kind of fix my windows here just for a second. Let's go to 0 here. Let's make this 20. Let's go to 0 here and make this 20. Nope, I can't make this 20 because, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Let's go back to my window real fast. Make this negative 20. I don't know. Ooh. Don't ask me why I did that. I kind of don't know why I did that. Make that negative 10. Make that negative 10. Make this 20. Bam. So the points I plugged in, you can kind of see what they look like here. And one of the things, the more points you have, kind of the better it is. This kind of sort of looks like a curve like this. So it's probably more of a quadratic than it is a linear based on information. But that's how you do a regression in the calculator. And again, I'll go over the steps one more time. You go to stat, edit, you kind of put your points in like this based on whatever information you have. Okay. By the way, yes, you can delete these. You can overwrite them, so you don't have to erase everything. Then you go to stat, calculate, and again, determining whatever you want to do, linear regression or quadratic regression. My quadratic regression, then I pick my list, and it should be L1, L2. There is an option for store, which I'm not going to do right now. But if you hit calculate, it's going to give me the equation that will, do what I want it to do. So now I'm going to go back to stat calc. go back to my quad reg. And the store option, basically what it does is you can take your equation to where it takes it into y equals, kind of like this. And give me 1 second. Anyway, sorry about that. So what I was saying about the y bars is if you go here and you go into the restore and you want to store it, you go into the vars button right here, or which is the variable. You go to the y variable for the function. You hit enter and you hit y1, and what that's going to do is going to take your equation into the y equals like this, so that if you graph it again, you'll see how close your equation is to what you just had. Okay, but that's basically what it is. So that's how you do a stat regression in a calculator. If you're not sure what I did, you can always just rewatch this. But anyway, all right, that's all I got. We'll see you later.